It's morning again in America.
Some campaign ads become iconic.
Today, more men and women will go to work than ever before in our country's history.
Like Ronald Reagan's famous Morning in America. Others change the game.
1, 2.
Lyndon Johnson's Daisy Girl scaring up fears of nuclear war in 1964. But these days, lawmakers are twerking for your vote, like this state senator in Rhode Island.
Vote Senator Mack.
Who posted this video on TikTok this week on the 4th of July. Others,
every 37 seconds, someone is arrested for possession of marijuana.
Smoking pot for your consideration.
That's me, shooting the cap and trade bill.
West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin famously shooting up some legislation in 2018. A leading candidate for Missouri governor getting backlash for this 2022 ad.
Today, we're going rhino hunting.
Where he says he'll hunt his fellow Republicans. The question we're asking tonight, have political ads lost their point and gone too far?
All right, so that is the question. Have they lost their point and they gone too far? Dina, we start with you this time.
Okay, short answer, yes. I think we're in the age of entertainment, and they're definitely testing the limits of, is there any such thing as bad press? Because, all of these got much more airtime on social media and on the news than they would have, if they had just bought that one spot. So to that extent, they got what they wanted. They got their message out there. Will it translate to votes, or does their campaign just kind of seem like a joke? I mean, that's up to the voters, but they were able to get a lot more free ad time being entertaining.
And obviously it's the twerking video that got us talking about this. But this is an actual state senator. So, she's obviously running for re-election, but she already, has the position. So she was on Ashley Banfield last night. She was on the show. And, Ashley mentioned that, this is not decorum that people in office should exhibit. However, let's hear what State Senator Mack had to say, how she defended herself.
I, again, am wearing a bathing suit that someone would wear at the beach. There are no private parts. There's nothing illicit about what I'm doing. And I'm dancing. There is nothing scandalous about dancing and moving my body. And I think it's an indication that there is a cultural divide between an older generation and a younger generation. I had folks who reached out to me saying they were disgusted and they were going to throw up in their mouths, whose profile pictures are the back of their bikini as well. And so it highlights the double standard that Black women, young Black queer women are held to.
All right. So, and I do want to say that Senator Mack is 28 years old. Now, Dr. Laura, I saw when she was saying that, when she said, mentioned the fact that there's this cultural divide between younger and older generations, I actually saw your mouth drop. So you had the most visual response. I'd like you to go ahead and share your thoughts.
First of all, I'm embarrassed for Senator Mack. I'm embarrassed she put that video up. I actually showed it to my 13-year-old niece and I said, what do you think? And at the age of 13, she said, I understand she's trying to connect with the younger generation, but this has nothing to do with her qualifications. I wouldn't vote for her. So if a 13-year-old gets it, Senator Mack should get it. So I'm asking myself, is she running for re-election or is she just trying out for America's Got Talent? I think this is a desperate publicity stunt. It's embarrassing. And I think we're going completely in the wrong direction. Horrible role model for our children.
Oh, that is such a great answer. Thank you for saying that.
I was going to say, I think this is the one thing that we're probably all in perfect agreement on, that was just a wildly inappropriate political ad. And I also have a 13-year-old daughter, and she thought the same thing. And if nothing else, look at the fact that we had to blur it. So that tells you that, well, I didn't show any body parts. Okay. Barely, you didn't show any body parts. So we had to blur that video. So that tells you something. And I think, this shows just a really discouraging downgrade in our political discourse. And I think we've been seeing that for a while, but this just cheapens us all. It cheapens our political discourse. It cheapens the senator. It's just bad all the way around. And I kind of want to go to that montage and go, you may have some objections with some of those other ads, but I don't think you can put them in a basket with this ad, which was really self-glorifying. I can't even figure out what issue does that speak to. Certainly,
it doesn't speak to any issue.
Well, then, on the flip side of that, should we say, what about, for example, Greitens out of Missouri? He has his campaign ad, hunting for rhinos. Is that okay? I mean, is that going too far? Yeah, we're taking a look at it, right? Or no, this isn't Greitens, sorry, but we're taking a look at some of the candidates, highlight guns so much, and there are many people who are offended by that.
That's a great
point. At the end of the day, this is about separating.
Just to say really quickly, I think that's a great point. And in our country, we actually do tend to be harsher on sexuality than violence. Like in movies, they can get a PG-13 rating and be a lot more violent than they can with sexuality. I do think that is a perspective we tend to be a little bit harsher on in this country.
Go ahead, Jason. I know you've been trying to talk.
That ad is being called out. I think at the end of the day, you have to separate what is the point of the ad and how they're going about doing it. They can make a point that's political that is distasteful. And I think that the rhino ad is distasteful, but at least I understand the point that he's trying to make. The twerking video is intended to get called out. This is a 28-year-old. This is someone who loves to play the victim. She very clearly pretended and just tried to gaslight us all. I can't believe someone would object to this. It's because I'm a black queer woman. No, that has nothing to do with it. There is this love affair with younger people, especially, to become victims. They like to be seen as victims because then they elicit some sort of sympathy or empathy for them, and they think it's going to score them some extra points. And it does a tremendous disservice to actual homophobia and actual sexism out there to pretend she's a victim when she clearly is not. She is, as maybe she would say, very thirsty for some attention.
Well, I just do want to say really quickly, I know plenty of people over the age of 28 who also like to play the victim as well. I do not think that is limited to young ages. But overall, just really quickly, panel, we only have about a minute left. I mean, have candidates maybe gone too far? Is it time to try to rein things in? Can we rein anything in at this point?
I think they have gone too far, and I think we can rein things in if we because what it represents is the erosion of our moral fabric as a country, the fact that our elected leaders think it's okay to do that. And I'll leave it at that since we're almost out of time, but we can change things and turn it around.
Well, and the voters have to. The voters have to say, we do not like this. I'm not going to support you as a result of that. So this is all on us.
Yeah, and I was going to agree with Jason that, look, I'm a conservative. I work for a conservative media outlet, but I did not like the Grindr ad that showed rhino hunting. I think he could have made that point in a lot of different ways. It didn't need to be hunting to position himself as not a rhino. So, yeah, I wasn't a fan of that one either, but for different reasons. It did at least make some sort of political point. So I love that. It is up to the voters. So let's all do a better job.
Yeah, we certainly all need to do a better job. Panel, excellent discussion today. Megan, Dina, Jason, and Dr. Laura, thank you so much for your time this hour. This was a great panel. Had a great time. We're going into the weekend. Everybody have a great weekend. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.